All right, patriotic Americans of every race, color, and creed, actually patriots from all over the world. Thank you for joining me here today to express what is going on here within the past 48 hours in particular with the situation in London and Manchester with the Ariana Grande concert. Now, I want to play a clip right quick of what happened. This actually just came out. This broke from some YouTube site, YouTuber who it fails to track my mind at the moment, saying basically an announcement was made in the stadium of the arena where Ariana Grande's show was, and this is what they try and suppress. This is how they're trying to suppress the fact that nothing's going on here. There's no radical terrorism. You're crazy if you think that, and you're a conspiracy theorist, and you're Looney Tunes. If you think that the nail bomb just went off from a suicide bomber just trying to kill himself, that never happens. You're crazy. What world do you live in? Well, this isn't, Neverland. So this is the real world here, and this actually happened here at the Manchester Arena right after people were trying to flee, and there was stampeding going on. People were literally jumping on top of each other off of rails and seats, and it was crazy. So I'm going to play this clip here saying there's no problems here in the Manchester Arena while there's people just running out of the arena just after they hear this loud explosion, and there's people all over the place saying, we got a problem, there's dead people everywhere, but there's no problem. Let's play this. Let's go ahead and run this.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your time. There's no need to bunch up. There's no problems here. Just take your time and keep exiting the building. There's no need to bunch up and run. Take your time. There's no problems here. Thank you for coming and having a good time tonight. Everything is fine. Just take your time exiting the building. Thank you very much. Walk slowly. There's no need to run.
Okay, now look. I understand that in situations, everyone says, look, as a pilot, I get it. Okay, when you're in situations that are severe like that, you're not really supposed to panic, because panic does make your brain clog and you can't think as straight, and then you end up losing your life sometimes in the most severe situations. Now, if you panic in these situations, lives can be lost. That's probably attributed to the injuries that happened here, plus 59 people, including, sadly, children that passed away in this horrible tragedy. Not to say that that's the sole proprietor, but it can be an attribute. And in this situation with the announcer, it's part of it, but you got to look out. You got to take yourself back, retract a little bit, look at the big picture, because you're looking at a place where the London mayor is a Muslim, a radical Muslim that wants to tie himself to radical jihad openly, and And you're dealing with places in London that's basically being overrun with taking in thousands upon thousands upon thousands of jihadis all the time. Every month. Just thousands of them just pouring in through the border openly from Libya and the worst destabilized countries in the Middle East. They're not coming from, Saudi Arabia, where it's actually like a stable country. They have passports that they can vet people. They don't know, or for the UAE or anything like that. Hell, even Iraq. No, they're coming in from these terrible, war-torn, government, military-driven countries that basically dominate the people there. And those are the people pouring into the places like Manchester. And then you have an announcement coming on in the arena when people are flooding each other, say not to worry, don't panic, everything's okay. There's no bodies on the ground, there's no blood everywhere. All those images on YouTube you're seeing, that's fake news. Don't trust that. Trust us. No. See, that's the problem we're having now. So yeah, that video, when I saw that, I didn't want to laugh, but I did, just because it's so stupid, and just because it's just so clear what they're trying to portray. It's not even funny. However, it is just because they're so blindly, obliviously doing it, or they know exactly what they're doing and they're trying to kill us all. Which I kind of go with the latter, just because it's in Agenda 21 and things like that. So that's it. I wanted to show you that. I don't know. You can get your own opinions from that. You can get your own opinion from the whole thing, but everyone should be, basically on the same thing. Like, where it is sad that people died, it is sad that a great that's supposed to be something that's supposed to be a great night out ended up being hell for dozens of families. And so obviously our thoughts and prayers go with them. And I mean, they're still going to keep going. Killing ISIS members is one thing. Killing the ideology is a whole nother animal. Excuse me. And now there's Twitter accounts saying, coming out of the Express here, with the vehicle attacks on your street, and from a Twitter account saying that today we fight you on our land, and tomorrow on your land by Allah's permission. I mean, you can. I mean, and you have Western. Muslims don't come in just brown skin people. They come in all shapes, sizes, skin color, you name it. It can be your neighbor, your white boy, little neighbor that that might be 15 years old that's just watching Islamic videos on YouTube and just getting radicalized, and on Telegram where they communicate, just getting totally radicalized. And you might not even know it. And then one day just goes to school and, tries to blow up kids or shoot someone. I mean, that happens. That can happen. But, in America, we're more civilized. But you can become radical through the old, ancient style of Middle Eastern civilization that still exists as 1,400 years later, still trying to attempt to do the same thing. And with our own backing and with our own political, kind of playground here, we have the foundation and the soil to grow these horrible, the most beautiful plants and the most disgusting, smelly, ugliest things you can imagine out the ground. Like cow manure to the world. So, I don't know. I mean, it's going to take a lot to kill this. It really is, admittedly, from the Rockefellers, it's an endless fight, an endless war, a pointless war that's pretty much going to go on basically forever. The start of 9/11. I mean, that gets really deep. That gets a little hairy. I could have to break that down in an entire another segment. I won't do that today. I mean, but that's basically what it is. It's an endless war. It's admitted. The war on terror started. Bush. I don't think Bush was completely behind it. But I do think he attributed a lot to it. And then the political left just starts to align themselves with, and the communists and the Marxists start to align themselves with, as they already have, being sympathizers because they're oppressed, because they're the minority. It's okay to be, show empathy and sympathy for the people that kill others, because they're white men. They're white people. They're already, the oppressors to the oppressed, which is apparently the jihadis that kill the oppressors, aka the white people. So it's okay for them to do that. And, the left won't go crazy on it. They'll be like, oh, how sad. But look, at the same time, you white people get everything you want. And half of them are white people saying that. So, it's just the most stupid double standard I've ever seen in my life. And it'll just get me really pissed off if I keep talking about it, because I see it all the time. And it just makes me lose my freaking mind. So, I don't know. I even see Facebook friends I have just totally okay with it. Not for the most part, but on the other side, they're like, well, okay, maybe, maybe the white people deserve to die. Democratic leaders are saying, just losing their minds, even at rallies, saying, F you, Trump. They're just, the left is really, they used to have really good, I won't lie, the left used to have really good ideologies and standpoints and firm foundations that I believed in at first. When I first discovered this, I was like, hey, maybe there's a lot of police brutality. Hey, yeah, I'm okay with open for free society, which I still am, but not the way they want to portray it. Not the way George Soros wants to portray it. Not the way a lot of these leftist elitists want to portray it as their type of open society that excludes white people, which in the end isn't open society. Wants to exclude Christians, isn't open society. Wants to exclude anyone that's against their agenda, and wants to call everyone a Nazi, when we're just trying to have open free speech. I might play this video real quick of the guy. There was a guy in London holding up a sign saying, let's just talk. Let's have a free, open discussion. And literally people are calling him Nazis. Hey, he's a freaking Nazi. They're literally going up to the guy, floods of these like zombie little, alien looking turds going up to this guy, and calling him a Nazi because they wants to have a free, open discussion. Newsflash, that's what the brown shirts did in 30s Germany. You idiots. You freaking morons. And you know, we're seeing that all the time. So, you know, I'm going to end this segment. Oh, actually, I'll play this video, end of this segment, and just get your thoughts on it. It'll make me lose my mind if I see it again consistently, because it's just aggravating. It's just so in your face of this guy getting shouted down by a bunch of neo-Nazis. Let's play this.
I'm still here. I'm still here, and I'm still standing up for open discussion.
Why are you defending it? No Nazis! No Nazis! You're for anyone. No platform for racism, no platform for homophobia. This is our borough. Fuck off. Little fascist. Yeah, fascist.